Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Now let's talk, how can we equality be promoted? This is also a very big question, that how it could be promoted. Now, establishing formal equality, that means in official way. The first step towards bringing out equality is, of course, that this system of inequality and privileges must be formal. Now, social, economic, and political inequalities all over the world have been protected by customs and legal systems that prohibited some sections of society in enjoying certain kinds of opportunities and rewards. Now, if we talk about poor people, they were not granted the right to vote in large number of countries, and women were also not allowed to take up the many professions and activities. Caste system in India prevented people from the lower caste and doing anything except manual labor. Now, attainment of equality requires that all such restrictions or privileges should be brought to an end. Since many of these systems have the sanction of law, equality requires that the government and the law of the land should stop protecting these systems of inequality. Now, the Constitution prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Our Constitution also abolishes the practice of untouchability. Most modern constitutions and democratic governments have formally accepted the principle of equality and incorporated it as identical treatment by law to all citizens without any regard to their caste, race, and religion or gender. And equality in Indian democracy, some of the constitutional provisions are: all are equal in the eyes of law. Constitution prohibits discrimination. All citizens have equal rights. All citizens have equal access. Constitution prohibits untouchability. Constitution offers equality opportunity. And Constitution includes special provisions for people with disability. Equality, equity, reality. Now, equality through differential treatment. Formal equality or formal before law is necessary but not sufficient to realize the principle of equality. Sometimes it is necessary to treat people different in order to ensure that they can enjoy equal rights. Now, certain differences between people may have to be taken into account for this purpose. So, for instance, disabled people may justifiably demand special ramps in public spaces so that they get an equal chances to enter public buildings. Or if we talk about women working in call centers at night may need special protection during the journey to and from the center so that their equal rights to work may be protected. So these should not be seen as infringements of equality but as enhancement of equality. Some countries have used policies of affirmative action to enhance equality of opportunity. In our country, we have relied the policy of reservation. Now, affirmative action. Affirmative action is based on the idea that it is not sufficient to establish formal equality by law. But what is the positivity about it? So, when we wish to eliminate inequalities that are deeply rooted, it is necessary to take some more positive measures to minimize and eliminate strength forms of social inequality. Most policies of affirmative action are those designed to correct the cumulative effect of past inequalities. So, affirmative action can, however, take many forms like preferential spending on facilities of disadvantaged communities, scholarships and hostels, and to special consideration for admissions to education and jobs. In our country, we have a policy of quotas or reserve seats in education and jobs to provide for equality of opportunity. Why this quota system is given? For equality of opportunity to deprive groups, and this has been subject of considerable debate and disagreement. The policy has been defended on the ground and certain groups have been victims of social prejudice and discrimination in the form of exclusion and segregation. These communities who have suffered in the past and been denied equal opportunities cannot be immediately expected to compete with others on equal terms. Therefore, in the interest of creating an egalitarian, just society, they need to be given special protection and help. Although policies of affirmative action are supported for making society more equal, and many theorists argue against them, they question whether treating people differently can ever lead to greater equality. Now, critics of positive discrimination, particularly policies of reservation, such invoke the principles of equality to argue against such policies. So they contend that any provision of reservations or quotas for the deprivation in admission for higher education or jobs is unfair, as it is arbitrary, denies other sections of society their right to equal treatment. So what they do? They maintain that reservation are a form of reverse discrimination, and they continue the practices that the principle of equality question and rejects. So equality requires that all persons to be treated alike. And when we make distinctions between individuals on the basis of their caste or color, we are likely to reinforce caste and racial prejudice. So for these theories, the important thing is to do away for the social distinctions that divide our society. Now consider the following things, following situations. So is special and differential treatment justified in any of the following? Like working women should receive maternity leave. A school should spend money to buy special equipment for two visually challenged students. Geeta pays brilliant basketball to the school, such should build a basketball court for her so that she can develop her skills further. Or Jeet's parents want him to wear a turban in school, and Irfan's parents want him to pray on Friday afternoon. So the school should not insists Ajit should wear a helmet while playing cricket, and Irfan's teacher should not ask him to stay back for extra classes on Friday. Many of these issues relating to the pursuit of equality have been raised by the women movement, and in the 19th century, women struggled for rights. So they demanded, for instance, the right to vote and right to receive degrees in college and universities and the right to work. That is in the same rights as the men in their society. So, however, as they entered the job market, they realized that the women required special facilities. In order to exercise these rights, for instance, they require some provisions for maternity leave and crunches in the workplace. So, without special consideration of this kind, they could not seriously compete for jobs or enjoy a successful professional and personal life. They needed, in other words, sometimes to be treated differently if they are enjoy the same rights as the men. So, as we deliberate on issues of equality and examine whether different treatment is warranted in a particular case, we need continuously to ask ourselves whether differential treatment is essential to ensure that a set of people can enjoy the same rights as the rest of the society. And caution must, however, be exercised to see that differential treatment does not yield new structures of dominance and oppression or become a means for some dominant groups to re assert special privilege and power in society. Differential treatment is intended and justified only as a means of promoting a just and egalitarian society. All mankind, being all equal, are independent. No one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty, or possessions.